I used to have a profound respect for those in my field. I've lost that respect for a lot of them. Very few that I have that respect for.
Because?
Just because the lack of integrity, the lack of professionalism, and the way they do things. It's just something that when you read that book, you'll understand why I am the way I am. And it goes back to the situation that we had on Gil's thing. It wasn't me trying to be a certain way towards Stephen A. You know, I would never do that.
Right.
What it was about was I was raised in a community to where that energy we had to navigate through every day. It ain't about me being tough because I'm for peace, right?
Same here.
But exactly, from Queens. And so I never bring that to anybody. And so when I look at today's landscape, I just don't see the polishing that I got in my community by wherever I went, somebody was sharpening my knife.
You don't see that in your industry?
No, because nobody did it to me. No black agents came to me and said, Rich, let me help you, let me show you, let me help you understand. What they did was they went into families and talked bad about me. Oh, he's just a kid, he's just LeBron's friend, et cetera, et cetera. When LeBron's done, he's going to be done, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm shocked to hear you say that because I didn't expect that.
Now I will never be your hater, I'm your biggest fan. I hope it falls into place just how you planned it. Life could put you in a pickle, just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail, you see the clip. Shout out to Rich Paul. Black business mentors. And I think this is a good thing to talk about because of what he said. I actually know someone who's an agent. He's been an agent for years, for decades. And but he doesn't do basketball, I believe. I think it's just like football and baseball. If I could be mistaken. So I don't think he's talking about him in that frame. But the one thing I do think about is what Rich Paul said. He doesn't have a lot of respect for some of his peers because of the cutthroat part of it, right? And don't get it twisted. It's cutthroat all the way around. You know, it wasn't just black agents that was probably talking bad about him. It was non-black agents, but he was trying to say, hey man, don't do your people like that. And some of these guys don't really have integrity like that. But the bigger issue is mentorship. And I'm gonna talk about that and I'm gonna add something in because one of the biggest examples of how our mentorship doesn't work out well is the church. And it's like, pastor been pastor for years and pastor not giving it up. And they got all these deacons and, bishops or whatever under the guy. And, they can never just take over and take it from that point any further, except if it's nepotism, right? And I saw a news story recently of a church where the son became a preacher, and now the son got sued, and the lady won. He lost a settlement of like $2.5 million because he gave one of the church members herpes because he out there banging the church members, right? It's but pastor, father still preaching, father still head of the church, but son is out here, knocking down the congregation raw. Giving them stuff, right? But we supposed to forgive. And the point I'm making about what Rich Paul is saying and what I just said about that situation is, what about the other brothers there who did all the right things? Who was doing it the right way? Who didn't get an opportunity or didn't get a chance to shine because guess what? Y'all wanted to keep it in-house per se. Or y'all wanted to keep it in your company per se. Y'all didn't do what's in the best interest of the clients. You did what's in the best interest of yourself. Now, either way, you were going to make money because if you get a client and your client's good, you get the right client, it works. Now the interesting thing about black agents is, if I'm not mistaken, even with my the guy that I know that's an agent, I think my cousin was like his actual first client when he went out on his own. You know, he pulled a Jerry Maguire and you know, and I think my cousin was his first actual client. And my cousin was like his another brother, but he's like, he really respected him and really he trusted that he was going to look out for my cousin trusted that he would look out for his best interest and not just get him a contract and get the percentage and just, you know, whatever. You get what I'm saying? And subsequently, you know, it helped because in years my cousin became a better player, and you know, oh, so that's your client, so you actually have a notable player, and so on and so forth. You got other people, huge names in the NFL for sure, and you know, a bunch of people who are, I think, on the cusp of being Hall of Famers now because of when he started. So, but I thought about that, like, was there anybody to mentor him? And I don't think so. You know, and this is, and with a guy like him, I respect him. He's a stand-up guy from everything that I know about him. I don't think he has anybody to pass the business down to. I think he's grooming his son. I think so. But if his son doesn't want to do it, then I don't know. But great guy. And the interesting thing about this is, I talked about it before, that a lot of these guys who are in business or whatever, a lot of them aren't telling the truth about not being able to find a black male successor when they're black men mentors in business. A lot of times they'll lead to helping a black female before they will a black male, because they're still trying to, you know, finagle and hustle and finesse and get them some younger sex, you know, in a trade for the you know, your mentorship. So, you know, mentorship gotta, you know, he gonna lead you and be on top of you or behind you, like literally and figuratively, right? So that's a whole nother thing, right? So the guys aren't participating in nothing like that. It's not that's not what guys are doing. So now we have these issues, and what goes on is you start losing respect for brothers, because it's like, dang, this what we doing? Okay, you know, because some of y'all don't know, even with some of the stand-up guys, if they feel like a client isn't feeling them, like, I might not be the guy for you. Okay, you know what? You might want to try this person, or this person. That might actually suit you better for what you want to do and what you're trying to do, or your personality or your family's trust or whatever. That they might suit you. And then when that happens, it's like, well, such and such told me to come this way. For real? Okay. Now, some people are jerks and they don't return the favor. You know, and other people are like, yo, me and you might not work out, but you might work out with them. But they don't, you know, they don't do that as often as they used to. And if I'm not mistaken, now it's a few black women who are agents, and they have pretty, you know, high, especially in the NFL, pretty high up clients. You know, pretty noticeable clients. You can see Jalen Hurts was one of the recent ones. You get what I'm saying? So that happens. She might, and I don't know, she probably had a hard time. But the irony of it, she might have had an easier time than a black male. And that's just with other black men. I'm just saying. But we got to think about that. Even, you know, in life and in general, we're having a hard time connecting people who need to be mentored and groomed to go to the next level. We have a hard time doing that. We'll pick the wrong people, sometimes on purpose. You know what I'm saying? To feed our own egotistical things. And then somebody, and the people that ascend, we like, yo, I always believed in you. And they like, whatever. No, you don't. No, you didn't. You was on one the whole time. It's just now that I'm on the same level as you are. Now you want to act like we friends. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I was just trying to give you a rough time to see if you can make it. Well, I made it. Now get out my face. You know, we can help each other out. Nah, you can't. Get out my face. You know. And then you see people move on. And that's why I brought up the church thing earlier, because what happens with when the church does stuff like that, guys leave and start their own church. And then it becomes an issue. Oh, you left the congregation. Some of the people went with you, yada, yada, et cetera, et cetera. You know, instead of just mentoring these people, you know, because the one thing I'm going to use the church reference is because sometimes churches get so big they have multiple locations. So it would behoove you to put the best people in the best positions in each location instead of putting the people that you know, that you are coolest with in the position. But you wind up ruining a good thing with that. But tell me what y'all think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna tell you that.